Well, when you look back and see, you will see, unfortunately, most religions in the world, political establishments in the world, and parents and teachers always used fear as the most effective tool to get what they want. Fear of hell, fear of shot to death, fear of punishment, fear of beating, fear of abuse, fear of shame. They used fear as the main tool of their trade, unfortunately including parents. Well, I think it is changing substantially, but still it's the underlying factor of most societies, because people still believe that fear will bring out the best in people. I think that is the most ridiculous and disastrous idea that spread across the world, that fear will bring about the best in people. Fear may control human beings from doing certain things, but fear will not liberate people from anything. Fear entangles a human being so badly and curtails a human being so badly, in many ways crushes a human being to become a small creature just desperate to survive, rather than being a grand being, not behaving like top-of-the-line life on this planet. You are the evolutionary crown of all life upon this planet, not behaving like the peak, behaving like bottom because fear. Fear not just of immediate consequences, but fear that you may suffer somewhere else. Fear of hell has been one of the big factors in controlling and managing people. Well, people are also God-fearing. The many things that we do in the form of bringing up our children, educating them, turning them towards the source of creation, all with fear, how will you ever succeed? Because fear is debilitating. You need… if you want to blossom, if you want to know some sense of liberation within you, you need all that you have and more. What you have is not enough. You need everything that you got and you need more, little more, push from the outside, otherwise one will not make it. But now crushing a human being with fear and making them less than what they are, and then hoping they will attain to something high, is a very ridiculous thing. So, incentives are one way, fear is another way, but the most beautiful way is always that you're committed enough to bring about sense. To make sense to somebody, it takes a lot of time and effort. The same thing, you can get it done in fear in 2 minutes. I'm talking about management techniques. But because if you have to make somebody understand every aspect of what needs to be done, what could be said in one word as an order. You have to say 100 things, look at me. What can be said in one word? In 100 different ways. But still, if you pull them out of the pit of ignorance today, tomorrow morning they'll be back there once again. Still you have to pull them back today, tomorrow morning they'll be back again. Well, that is the nature of this work. But even if somebody makes an incremental step towards a more sensible existence, you will have wonderful things around you. But if you get the same thing done out of fear or much more out of fear, you will have such an ugly atmosphere, the very air you breathe will be poisonous. When everybody around you is in fear, the very air you breathe will be poisonous. You must see, if you're sensitive. I've worked in these prisons… I did not get admission, I went there to teach inner engineering programs. At one time, full 10 days, I was there in many prisons, both in India and in United States. Well, if you look at the prison, it's pretty well organized. In fact, for a whole lot of people who come from the lower strata of society, they're dressed better than they were dressed outside. They have a better diet, they're eating better, obviously they look more healthy, and all their practices are good, all addictions are out, and everything happens on time, everything on time. And people turn on the lights for you, turn off the lights for you, like Isha Yoga Center, no? They even open doors for you. Of course, they also close it. No, there is so much struggle in homes. Today, lock the front door and come. Why should I do it? You do it. Sir, no such problem. Somebody else does everything for you. In many ways, for people who come from a certain strata of life, physical and material aspects of life are better organized in the prison, in their homes, than in their homes actually. But the suffering is in the air, the pain is in the air. I've never been into these prisons and come out without tears in my eyes, because the very air that you breathe is full of pain. As a part of visiting a certain historical place, it's like a monument in Tennessee, an old prison during the Civil War and that kind of stuff. I went into the gallows. They took us there as a part of the tour. You won't believe, maybe the last time anybody hung there was 100 years ago, I'm not sure, but a long time ago. But if you enter that place, it just hits you in the face. Even today, after so many years, it's like suffocating. The fear, extreme levels of fear and suffering, what people have gone through, just lives in the atmosphere like that. So this is the most important thing if you really want to change the world. If you want to change the atmosphere in your home, in your society and in the world as a whole, the most important thing is people should feel pleasant within themselves. But you need to understand, life need not be poisoned chemically. You can poison yourself with fear, you can poison yourself with anxiety, you can poison yourself with a wrong thought, wrong emotion. Just a wrong posture can poison you. Yes, just a wrong way of sitting is poisoning you. Otherwise, why do you think for thousands of years we invested in the science of yoga? Well, if you think it's nothing, I want you to understand, it's the only thing. Just look back and see. It is the only thing other than basic survival aspects like eating, sleeping, reproduction and excretion. Apart from these things, The only thing which has lived for 15, 20,000 years is yoga, not because of propagation, simply because of its efficacy. So, if you do not understand the nature of your own existence, then you will create all these things. So, this is not about being fearful, this is about becoming sensible, knowing we are mortal, always knowing every moment of our life, virus or no virus, we are still mortal. But with sense, with sensible behavior, with responsible handling of life, we can minimize many possibilities and at the same time enhance various other dimensions of our life.